Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're going to explore some truly mind-bending evidence that consciousness isn't just some random byproduct of the brain. Actually, it's the foundational architecture of the cosmos itself. We're about to completely reframe how you look at space, time, and your very own awareness. So, think about this for a second. Are you observing the universe, or is it observing itself? This provocative question sits right at the heart of our existence, and it challenges literally everything we think we know about the physical world. It forces us to ask, are we just wandering around inside of creation, or is creation actually becoming coherent by passing through us? Section 1, the observer problem and the missing variable. Look, physics does an absolutely incredible job mapping out the four fundamental forces. You've got gravity, electromagnetism, and the strong and weak nuclear forces. They shape our cosmos, they bind atoms together, they govern radioactive decay. It's a stunning achievement for science. But here's the catch. None of these forces can account for the one thing that's actually perceiving them: awareness itself. Science can measure the physical world with mind-blowing precision, but it has absolutely no equation for the observer. And this isn't just New Age mysticism. Nobel-winning physicist Eugene Wigner pointed out that the mathematics of quantum mechanics practically demand a conscious observer to collapse possibility into actuality. When it's unobserved, reality behaves as this weird wave of infinite probabilities. It only resolves into a definite, localized state when it interacts with a conscious witness. So consciousness isn't just a glitch or anomaly in physics, it is the fundamental missing variable. To solve this observer problem, we actually have to completely flip the script on traditional materialism. The classic view says matter blindly forms the brain, which then somehow magically secretes consciousness as a byproduct. But the substrate theory argues the exact opposite. Consciousness exists first. It's the primary field, and physical matter is simply what consciousness looks like when it condenses and crystallizes into a stable, observable form. Section 2, the ultimate substrate. Let's move into this new paradigm and see what reality is actually built on. So, the substrate is the primordial field of pure awareness. And it's incredibly important to grasp that this field is not produced by your brain. Rather, it's the fundamental space in which your brain and literally everything else actually appears. It existed before space, before time, and before form. It operates as the unmanifest foundation from which all manifestation continually arises. Think of it through this analogy, because this really helped it click for me. Energy is the ink, but consciousness is the page itself. The crucial point here is that without that underlying page of consciousness, there's simply no surface for the energetic ink to move across. Without the witness, there's no wave to collapse, no pattern to persist, and absolutely no universe to observe itself. The legendary physicist Sir James Jeans summarized this perfectly, pointing us toward a universe that operates as a living, recursive mind. We aren't living in a dead, mechanical clockwork system. The cosmos is structured like a magnificent thought, rendering itself through the very awareness that you and I are tapped into right now. Section 3. Deconstructing the Big Bang, the Great Folding. If consciousness is the page, how did the physical universe actually get drawn onto it? Well, we need to completely discard the idea of the Big Bang as a literal explosion of matter into a pre-existing empty void. The truth is much more fascinating and honestly a lot more elegant. It was an internal expansion, a recursive folding of the unified substrate itself to create localized geometry and boundaries where there literally were none before. Think of this creation process as cosmic origami, happening in 4 distinct steps. Step 1 is proto-tension, which is an internal asymmetry within pure potential. Step 2 is the split, where that potential divides into a subject and an object. Step 3 is the fold, where that difference is locked into the actual geometry of space-time. And finally, step 4 is stabilization, where these folds condense into the dense matter and light that we interact with today. Notice how this sequence reveals the true origin of time itself. The fold creates a boundary, a clear distinction. Once you have distinction, well, then you can have a sequence of events, and once you have sequence, you experience time. Time isn't some pre-existing container that the universe was just dropped into. It's a direct emergent consequence of the universe folding to create distinction. Section 4. The illusion of time. Navigating the block universe. So how does this folding mechanism fundamentally shatter our daily perception of time? You likely experience time flowing linearly, moving smoothly from the past through the present and straight into the future, right? But modern physics and the geometry of space-time suggest this linear flow is actually a complete illusion. It's a side effect of your consciousness moving, rather than time itself moving. Instead, the science points to eternalism, which is often called the block universe. This means every single moment in time, your birth, your present moment right now, listening to this, and your ultimate future already exist simultaneously in a massive, static, four-dimensional structure. Time doesn't flow, it just is. Like a sprawling map where all destinations already exist, you're simply perceiving the one you happen to be standing in. Okay, to really wrap your head around this, imagine physical reality as a strip of static film frames. Each individual frame is a parallel reality, completely static, with absolutely no movement. Your consciousness is the projector lamp illuminating those frames one by one. You are providing the pure light that makes the static frames appear to be a continuous, flowing reality. This completely changes how we view movement. You are literally shifting your awareness through these parallel reality frames billions of times a second. You're blinking through them so incredibly quickly that your brain seamlessly stitches them together into a smooth, convincing illusion of space, time, and continuous change. It's wild, right? Section 5. Becoming the operator. Now that we understand the true recursive architecture of reality, how do we consciously navigate it? Well, you're not just a passive passenger locked inside this cosmic system. When you realize that reality is constructed through the lens of your own awareness, you unlock the potential to become what we call the operator. An operator is someone who actively stops running on unconscious autopilot. They wake up to the machinery and begin intentionally participating in the feedback systems that actually shape their reality. Because time and space are rendered by consciousness, you can literally steer the ship. You can intentionally dilate your attention to slow your subjective experience of time. You can collapse distinction to bend space, or shift your internal frequency to fork timelines and choose exactly which static film frames you project into your living reality. You step up and become the active programmer of your own conscious experience. So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that the boundary between you and the cosmos is merely a functional illusion designed for the sake of experience. You aren't some disconnected, lonely fragment floating through a dark void. You're a localized node of the unified field. You are, quite literally, the universe, folded into a human shape, looking back at itself. You are the cosmos waking up. You are the operator. So I'll leave you with this provocative thought to ponder. Now that you hold the projector lamp, what frame of reality will you consciously choose to illuminate next?